Good afternoon, everybody. How is everyone? Good. Did you have a good morning? Yes? Good. Okay. I'm really sorry I wasn't able to join you. I've been, back in the office having meetings. I would much rather have been here. Believe me, you've got the better deal. So just to build on that very kind introduction, and thank you for that. My name's Dominic Allon. I'm the MD for Google Hong Kong. So my job really is to help Hong Kong get the most out of the internet. We spend a lot of time with partners here in Hong Kong, helping them figure out the context for their operations, and working with them to co-create strategies that are fit for purpose in a digital world. We're super excited about partnering with HKU for this project. I'm a big fan of what you're doing here, and I'm a big fan of X and the X team as well. So to see those two things come together in the market that I'm responsible for is a real delight and a real privilege. I was reflecting on some of your achievements over the last 20, 25 years, and I think you've really emerged as a leading institution in the area of science and technology. You've given birth to some incredible scientists and entrepreneurs. I'm a big fan of DJI, and I kind of thank you, for creating the context in which amazing people can create incredible businesses like that really put Hong Kong on the map, Hong Kong and China on the map. So, you're already playing an incredibly important part in the ecosystem here. And what I think really stands out recently is the mental shift that HKU have made from a culture that is focused on not just academic research and enterprise and publishing, but a culture that also tries to embrace and understand the impacts that you're having in the world. And I think working with X is very much a part of that. It's about taking the research and the science, taking the technologists and that entrepreneurial mindset, and really creating programs that change the world at scale. If you think about the context for this conversation, it's almost certainly true to say that we're living in a period in history that has got unprecedented levels of opportunity and potential. If you understand anything about X, you'll understand that it exists to exploit the difference between kind of straight line thinking and exponential thinking. It's in the area where that gap opens up, that zone of transformative potential sits. That's the zone that X wants to play in, and that's the zone where HKU can also really make a contribution to the world. Most of the people I talk to in my kind of day-to-day business tend to think in straight lines. And if I'm honest, I think we're all guilty of this. We all think that tomorrow will be today plus one, but actually the impact of that exponential growth in computing power and technology is really, really radical. And I think we all have to remind ourselves every day what incredible opportunities that represents, and also the incredible kind of responsibility that we have if we're trying to do things in that zone. So when I look around Asia in particular, one of the key things I think all of that leads to is a significant growth in the internet population. You may have read Eric Schmidt's book, and he spoke about this notion of the next 5 billion. This idea that we're going to go from a world where actually just 3 billion people are online to a world where, in fact, most people will be online. Okay. So what happens when most of the nearly 8 billion people are online? What does that do to transform people's lives? And we know that when we give people the internet, their lives really change. And what does it do to academics and to business people and to entrepreneurs who are trying to create products and services that meet and serve people where they're spending their time, which is increasingly online? I think you heard a little bit earlier about Loon. Is that right? Did you talk about Loon earlier? What an amazing project. And it's projects like Loon driving those increasing levels of connectivity in remote areas and hinterlands that will be a key part of that increasing level of connectivity. I think the other key thing, which is in many ways being driven from Asia, is the increasing accessibility of devices. The era of the $20, $25 smartphone is going to be incredibly powerful. So we're seeing more and more people come online on better devices and better connections. We're moving to a world in the not too distant future where the internet is a utility that almost everyone can enjoy. I think that's going to be incredibly powerful and incredibly important. So one of the things we also try and do at Google, as well as remain kind of sensitized to that big opportunity, is really root everything we do in the individual. and that sense of the user, and try and really be clear that it's the user need that actually motivates and informs everything we do. The so what of everything I've said in terms of people is that really behaviours are changing and expectations are changing as well. So, mobile is an obvious one to talk about. Pretty much every single technology-themed conversation will talk about mobile. But actually, when I'm spending my time here in Hong Kong with partners, it's quite shocking. Time and time again, we see some of the most important businesses, some of the largest businesses here in Hong Kong, offering up their services in a mobile context in a manner that is simply broken. They're serving up desktop sites that are illegible on mobile devices, and we're talking about some of the largest brands in Hong Kong. So, what we see here is, on the one hand, this kind of incredible excitement about the opportunity, a new way for businesses to serve their customers, but a world in which many businesses and partners are kind of falling behind. So, when more and more people are searching and spending time on mobile, when people's attitudes about what they want from their partners are changing so quickly, we know that about 10 years ago, most people basically distrusted online shopping. Now, most people expect to have a, if you liked that, you'll like this experience. So we're really trying to ensure that business people and anyone serving people in Hong Kong, government included, we're really trying to ensure that all of those partners understand the opportunity and are meeting and are serving people and are remaining relevant in the areas where they're spending their time. And I think you all need to be in tune with that as well. I think the difference for the entrepreneurs and the scientists in this room is that by looking at new technologies and by originating new value propositions and new ideas, you have a tremendous amount of freedom, and you're not having to cope with legacy cultures and systems. So I think you should really try and make the most of that. I just wanted to also talk a little bit about some of the approaches that I've seen that are kind of proven Google principles for doing well in these areas, and then I'll close and let you carry on with your amazing agenda. So the first point underlines what I've already said, which is the importance of the focus on the user. At Google, just over 10 years ago, we published 10 things we found to be true. It's almost the kind of the Google 10 commandments, and they're still there. You can still find them instantly online. And they're as relevant as they were 10 years ago. And number one is focus on the user and the belief that all else will follow. And so the organizing principle for everything you're doing, and certainly for us within Google and for our partners, we recommend that all of the systems, the processes, the cultures, the KPIs, the feedback loops should be predicated on the user response. Really try and sensitize yourself to the way in which your customers, the way in which people are responding to the propositions or the ideas that you're putting forward. I think the second thing then is, and I really love this one, and it's a bit of a well-worn phrase, but we talk about avoiding the hippo, the highest paid person's opinion. Try and focus on data, okay, to guide your decision making. And once again, you're in a wonderful position because you're not carrying legacy cultures and hierarchies, so you're free to really take a read on what the data tells you. Find ways in which you can organize, you can marshal these incredible volumes of data that we enjoy now, and turn those into insights that you can act on. And also try and lower the barrier. So thirdly, cultivate a culture of failing fast. Really try and test and iterate, make lots of small tests, iterate depending on the feedback you're receiving. And I think when you bring those three things together, it can be very, very powerful. It's actually a lot easier to say than it is to do. But I think if you return time and time again to these core principles, this incredible opportunity that sits in front of us, really the critical importance of staying close to, of being sensitive to the user experience and feedback, and then having the courage to keep improving and to make sure you stay relevant as the world continues to move forward and your customers and your value proposition need to evolve with that. So that's all I wanted to say really. I just wanted to kind of kick off the afternoon, have a chance to introduce myself, thank HKU for partnering with us on this. As I say, super, super proud to have the Solve4X team here in this room. I think you're going to have an amazing afternoon, so really make the most of it, and I will catch up with you all again soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.